Hi everybody, it is Saturday morning, which means it is time for Meals with Melissa. This week I actually came up with something that's more kind of like a meal idea, maybe a snack idea, but I just remember growing up with taquitos. Remember, and of course I've had some from various fast food restaurants and the frozen ones that you throw in there. Probably not the best option because first of all, it's processed food, right? Not to mention it's frozen, full of sodium, la la la. So what better way to do something a little more healthier than to make them at home yourself and actually throwing a little bit healthier spin on it. So, at our house, we try to go a little bit lower carb. We don't do no carb because, carbohydrates are important. We just really try to stick with complex carbohydrates and do some little bit better options. We do a lot of rice, a lot of sweet potatoes, and some of those great options. Oats, love oats. We've got our little list that works for our family, and every once in a while we venture into something new, like maybe some quinoa or something to that effect. But today we're actually going to take it still a little bit low carb. The problem with most American diets, we do really get a lot of highly processed ingredients, including refined sugars, enriched flour. Some people think, oh, hey, I'll just make a wrap out of it. Well, again, even if you're using low carb tortillas, you're still using a commercially processed product. So again, balance in all things, not saying that that's a bad thing for all the time, but this time we're actually going to use cheese as our tortilla. So if you're on a little bit lower carb diet, maybe you're doing keto, not a huge fan, but it is what it is. We've got an idea for you today. Now, anything that you use, you can always do a lettuce wrap, and you can even do that at eating out at restaurants. A lot of places will do that for you. You can ask for a hamburger, you can ask for anything that's in a lettuce wrap. Again, you still have to be aware of the things that are included in it because sometimes they just have some extra ingredients that just don't belong and aren't the best options. But, again, balance in all things, and you have to do the best you can, especially when you're going out and or traveling. So today we are making a low carb taquito. So you can actually use, today I'm using turkey burger. You could use regular burger. It's your choice as to what the percentage of fat is in it. If you are lower carb, then you might need to actually have a little bit higher fat quality. You can also use shredded chicken. Anything works for this. So here's what we're gonna do. Now, I'm actually gonna make my own taco seasoning. The primary reason I do that is because if you look at commercially made taco seasonings, look at the packet, look at the back, and not just where it says sugars, but if you actually look at the ingredients, it usually contains some sugar. It's really amazing to me how many companies get away with putting sugar in things that you wouldn't normally think. Salad dressings, ketchup, crazy. Read it. Even if it doesn't say sugars in the label, if it says OS, it includes some sort of sugar. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I've already been browning my turkey burger. It's ready to go. It's a half a pound of ground turkey plus a good about 1/4 of a cup of minced onion that I've actually cut up and put in there just so it's all ready to go. And the first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna mix my spices and throw it in there so that it can simmer while I'm making the cheese tortilla, if you will. It's actually cheese crisp if you look at it that way. So I'm gonna take a small bowl. I've got all my spices sitting here, and I'm just gonna measure it out, mix it up, and dump it in there with a cup of water. So I'm gonna start with a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. The fun thing at my house is that we come up with all kinds of strange names for the different spices. Go get some paprika, just silly stuff at my house. We get a little crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna use just 1/2 teaspoon. And of course, if you like yours a little spicier, you can always mess with the amounts just a little bit. I'm making a great big mess as I go too. Good thing I'm willing to clean it up when I'm done. All right, so we've got some paprika. I'm gonna actually do 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. And I'm just taking off the entire lid just so I can scoop it out. I don't need the little shaker part of it. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of that. Okay, I'm going to do 1/2 teaspoon of powdered onion powder. Whoop. And you know what, honestly, I've collected all these, we use actually a lot of spices because that's how we change the flavors in our food. So it's pretty easy when I need something, it's already there. My daughter does a really great rendition of spices for her burger whenever she's in contest prep. So I'm also going to do 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Boop. Okay, super simple. Normally I don't like to do things with a whole lot of ingredients, but this isn't exactly like a whole lot of ingredients. It's just spices mixing it together to make my own taco seasoning. Super simple. Okay, I'm also gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We tend to do sea salt at my house. Iodized salt actually contains dextrose, which is a sugar. So we try to stay away from that. All right, 1/2 teaspoon of salt in my mix, and then 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Super simple, that's it. right? So, and yeah, like I said, you could do commercial, especially if you're in a hurry and don't have a lot of time, you could do the commercial option, but this honestly isn't that hard. You could also pre-make it and be able to use it as soon as you need it whenever, which is also a great option. If you're a busy household like we are, you know, sometimes it's just nice to get things. We do a lot of food prep at my house. That's just how we roll. So it makes it easier. We're all busy. We're all busy. I've got multiple kids in school. My husband works 125 hours a week right now, and I'm a little bit of everywhere. So I'm just mixing that together. I'm gonna dump this on my burger. I'm gonna put it back on the heat. I'm gonna turn it back up a little bit. I had it on simmer there. Okay, I'm gonna dump my spices on that, plus about a cup of water. And I'm gonna let that simmer for a few minutes while I am making the tortillas, okay? So I'm gonna put in, probably not quite a cup. I just wanna see what it does. I don't want it to be too liquid. So put that in there and we'll let it do its job. We'll start with that. I can always add. All right, mixing that up. You know, it's funny. I was talking to somebody the other day about, you know, how I used to feed the size of my family. I do have 5 children, and of course they're grown. I've actually got almost 3 adults at this point. But we used to live, when we were younger, on a lot of casseroles, and, you know, because it was easy. The problem being is that, you know, a lot of added sugars and weird things, a lot of processed food. You know, I grew up on Hamburger Helper, you know, busy family. I had a mother who worked full time. So I kind of learned to do kind of the box type of a deal. The downside to that is that it's really highly unnutritious, right? When they talk empty calories, that's really kind of what they're talking about on that one. Okay, so I'm gonna let that simmer for a minute, kind of do its job. I had to turn the heat back up, so it's gonna take a sec. Now I'm gonna make the cheese. I already practiced this, right? I wanna make sure it actually works out. So I'm gonna take a cup of, I've already shredded it, cheddar cheese, okay? So super simple. Like I said, I just get mine from the local grocery store. Believe it or not, I know you're gonna think I'm crazy. I actually shop at multiple stores just because I know where the best ingredients are at each store. And so, you know, I do make a Costco run once a week. I do make, you know, some different runs just depending on what I need. But I try to be smart about it. And like I said, it's not even just price, because, you know, but part of it is just the right ingredients, the best ingredients. I am a little bit better at this point about knowing what to get that's organic, when it doesn't really matter. Those are some things that you will have to consider in your household depending on how many people you shop for. That does make it really difficult when you have a big household, only because it gets a little expensive, right, to shop local. Although, you know, if you can, it's your best option. Shop local, shop at your local butcher, shop your local farmer's market. Those are things I'm actually really excited about for the summer. We've actually talked about as our family that we are going to hit the farmer's market every weekend. So I'm gonna take also 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese and put in my mix. And this is supposed to make about 6 taquitos. So just keep that in mind. I will post the recipe down below. Okay, and of course I always give credit to where I find it, either on Pinterest or on a website. I'm also going to use half a cup of just grated Parmesan. And I guess you could do shredded if you really wanted to. That would work fine too. I just not gonna afford that. It tends to be a little more expensive. We don't do a ton of cheese in my household. Just depends. Right now we have 2 people on contest prep, and the rest of us just try to live at least somewhat healthy. So, all right, so half a cup of the grated Parmesan. Yes, you can tell it's Costco size. You know, there are some things we definitely have to stock up on. We do use a lot of certain things. So, okay, so then I'm just gonna actually use my clean hands, and I'm actually gonna just mess it around. Mix, mess, whatever. It's Saturday. Apparently I lose my vocabulary on the weekend. Okay, so it's just, you know, it's just a little bit of a concentration of all 3 cheeses there. I've already taken my parchment paper, my favorite tool of all time. I just love this stuff, right? Easy cleanup. I've already put some parchment paper on my pan, so it's ready to go. Okay, now right now I'm just gonna make 2 of them just because it's super fast, and I wanna show you what they're gonna look like when they're done. So I'm gonna throw 2 handfuls. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab, kind of make it in a ball, and place it on my parchment paper in my pan. I know it's kind of hard to see there. I'm trying to include multiple things in my view right now. Just something fun that's coming up. I will have a new set for my Q&A Wednesdays and a lot of the videos that I do. Pretty excited about that. So something to look forward, and all those things I keep telling you are coming. Also, yeah, I'm not gonna tell you everything today. Okay, so I've got those now. I'm actually gonna put this in the oven for about 6 minutes. I'm gonna set the timer. You don't wanna burn it. You do want it When you take it out, it's gonna be soft, but it's gonna harden fast. So we're gonna have to move with it fairly quickly, but like I said, I wanna show you what it looks like. So I'm gonna throw this in the oven and set my timer. Okay, and what that's gonna do is it's actually gonna flatten out to kind of a cheese crisp, but it'll still be pliable when we take it out so we can roll it up like a taquito. Okay, so this is going, we're gonna get this a little, let it simmer for a second here. Now, if you guys have any great ideas that you want to share, one of the interesting things when I have a new client or somebody I'm working with that really struggles to eat a little bit more healthy, a lot of times their biggest issue is time, learning to prepare things in advance, or even maybe they don't have a lot of skills in cooking. Those can be taken on and worked with just one thing at a time. Start with maybe take a local cooking class that helps you to know how to use different cooking styles. Maybe, guys are good at grilling. There's nothing wrong with grilling. Grilling's amazing. And now with the weather like it is, super excited about that. But in the beginning, it might take you a little time to figure it out. My goal for you and why I do these is to help come up with ideas that might help you get there faster. This is kind of a culmination of my experience for about the last, I've been working on this for about 9 years. I've been training for about 8. So, it took me a while. I didn't really have mentors. I didn't really have a lot of people that could tell me where to go. I had to do a lot of research and a lot of figuring this out all by myself. So take these ideas, figure out something that works for you. But if you have something that works for you and you want to share, please let us know. That is the goal. Hopefully it won't take you 8, 9, 10 years to figure it out. Now, that being said, it's okay to take it slow. As a matter of fact, things done consistently, just small things, maybe a couple of changes. I usually start with my clients just challenging them to drink more water. I know it doesn't sound like a big thing, but it makes a big difference when you're trying to reach your goals. So start with 1 or 2 things. Those things done consistently are so much better than trying to do it all at the beginning of a New Year's resolution and then failing 3 weeks later because you just can't keep up with it. It's really hard to change too many different habits all at once. Okay, so I'm gonna set my timer here. Okay, I know it's already been in there for a minute. So please, if you have questions, if you have ideas, I get my best ideas from you. So don't forget to leave a comment below. You can also message me directly on Facebook Messenger. I do respond. I had a gal from North Carolina last week had a question about a few things, and I definitely, if it's something that I can answer in a couple of sentences, it's something I'll respond to. Now, please do not message me asking for meal plans for free. That will not happen. I don't really do meal plans per se. What I do is I do nutritional counseling. I help people try to understand what the different macronutrients do, how they can work with it, what is probably the best option for them depending on body type, background, genetics, social aspect of life. I get it. We're all busy. Some of us are stay-at-home moms. Some people work full-time or work 2 jobs. We try to work with that. So, all right, our burger's just about ready to go. And again, you can make this a little spicier, less spicier. Things that you can top these lovely taquitos with. You can do a little bit of sour cream. Again, just pay attention to your macros. And I know that I talk a lot about that, and I know a lot of you are like, that's just too detailed for me. I don't want to count calories. And that's fine. You technically shouldn't count calories because not all calories are the same. Calories from a Pop-Tart, which is a carb, are not going to be the same as the calories from an apple, nor will your body use them the same, even though they're both simple sugars. So keep that in mind. But paying attention makes all the difference in the world, and making sure that you're just cleaning things up a little bit. Your goal is to start with doing a little bit better, and then doing a little bit better than that, and doing a little bit better than that. Some of my favorite things that you could do with these, I love avocado. You could get some holy guacamole, which honestly doesn't add any sugar to their product. It's a few more ingredients, minced garlic and things included in it, but it's probably one of the better options that I found for a guacamole that's not full of a bunch of junk. You could also, you don't need cheese because the tortilla is made out of cheese. So there's your cheese right there. But be creative. See if you can't come up with something. And also it could be a great appetizer, a great snack for a party. Be creative with this. Now, I have been looking for new vegetable recipes in my house because I think that that's one of the harder things for people to work with and try to incorporate in their meals. Checking on the cheese, it looks pretty good. Oh, and just really quick, making sure you know what the rest of the recipe is. I preheated my oven to 400 degrees and let it get nice and hot so that as soon as I put the cheese in there, it actually directly started to melt really, really quick there. Once we're done, we're just gonna actually throw a little bit of the ground beef in it, roll it up like a taquito, and let it sit for a few minutes so that the cheese tortilla will harden. So super, super easy. And like I said, I'll include the recipe down below. So my goal now, at this point in life, where I'm trying to reach a little more in the way of balance and just living a healthy lifestyle, not competing, is to try and come up with a new vegetable every week that I'm willing to try, and then try to make my son test it as well. Sometimes it's difficult to get your children to try new items, especially when they're healthy and especially when they're not processed. People who eat a lot of processed food, your taste buds become accustomed to the additives, preservatives, and all of the different processed ingredients they put in there, and technically you become addicted to that food, which is exactly what that company wants you to do, the company that makes that product. So it takes a while for your taste buds to calm back down and become accustomed to cleaner food. Problem being is, if you're trying to do that in the midst of still eating a lot of junk food and processed food, that's gonna be tough. So, coming up with some great recipes, maybe adding a little cheese to the vegetable you're trying to do might be a great option, as long as you're really cutting out a lot of the unhealthy processed carbs. Okay, so we're almost done here. I just want to give you a quick idea of what it's going to look like. So I'm just waiting on that cheese. It's got about 1 more minute. Actually, it probably has closer to 2. I made these this morning. They do work out just fine. So they look really good. I have not tasted it yet. My son took off with both of my examples, so they're coming up in just a second. But for those of you who are just tuning in, or if you didn't see earlier this week, I just opened my new website, www.fillmorefitness.com. I have some really great options for coaching. I know that that's the ongoing trend, and I love working with people. I love helping them get healthy, make good choices, and to do so in a way that works for the rest of your life, not just for the moment or for 3 weeks till you go on vacation. Although I can help you with that if you have the basics down. We have lots of options on there. So hop on there, check it out, see what's there. And don't forget, we have pre-orders right now of the new Fillmore Fitness logo. If you hop on my website or on my Facebook page, there should be a link to hop on there at Mutant Printing. They're doing our t-shirts, our tank tops, and such for us. So they look awesome. I'm pretty excited about that. Okay. So it looks like these are just, I'm going to tell you that probably, because I made them a little bit bigger this time, I'm going to give it about another minute or so here. So I want it to just be slightly browning on the top and look prepared, just look ready like it's crispy. So that's what we're going for. So like I said, this batch is supposed to make about six taquitos. You can reheat them. So if you have to put them away for a while, if you make them in advance, you can throw them in the fridge and then reheat them at 350 instead of 400, because you're not trying to re-crisp the cheese there, okay? So again, if you have any questions, please message me directly. I love to answer that. There are some other big things coming up. I just can't tell you what they are yet. I do want to tell you that here in 2 weeks, the Empire Classic in Spokane, Washington is the first main bodybuilding competition of the season. We will have 2 bikini clients there. If you want to check it out, if you want to get some tickets, go to Ribic. Let's see. I believe it's Ribic Productions, but I'll have to jump back on there and make sure that's correct. Ribic Productions, or you can look up NPC Empire Classic, and that should pop up on Google so that you can actually check it out, see how much tickets are. Our girls are in the afternoon. It's a little different from the regular competitions that we do. Usually they have prejudging in the morning and finals at night. This one, we just have bikini girls. So we are at 4 p.m. and it goes through till we're done for the night. So come check it out. It's a lot of fun. And if it's something that you've thought about doing, you might want to check it out first, just so you can see if that's something that you might enjoy. Okay, so they look pretty good. So I'm gonna take them out. Like I said, I want them to be a little extra crispy, probably a little more brown than they are. I just made them bigger than I did last time. I'm still gonna pull them out anyway so you can see what they look like. Normally you're gonna wait about 1 to 2 minutes, let it cool off just a little bit so that they're touchable and pliable, which I'm gonna do because I don't wanna burn myself. So I've got my hot pad out. I'm gonna go ahead and take that out and turn everything off. All right, so let me show you what they look like. See if I can not burn myself with the steam. All right, like I said, love parchment paper. So here's how they look. Right, so you can see they're starting to get crispy. I wanted them to be a little bit crispier, but that's okay. Like I said, I probably should have left them in for a couple more minutes, but I'm gonna leave them sit for a second. I've got my burger ready to go. Like I said, I like my burger to be I don't like a lot of liquid or grease or whatnot. So that's ready to go as well. And as soon as those cool off for just a sec, got my handy dandy spatula. I'm just gonna peel them up, put the beef in there, roll them up, and let them sit till they cool down a little bit longer than that. So again, I will include the recipe as soon as I'm done. And if you have questions or comments, leave one below. All right, so here we go. Yeah, that's probably still gonna be about just one more minute. They are just, they're a little soft, but that's okay. So let's see if I can help you see that. Yeah, you can kind of see that in the way. All right, I'm gonna put some of the ground beef in the middle, just like you would a taco. Yeah, seriously, a little bit of guacamole and a little bit of sour cream. Sounds amazing. You know, I've had a lot of people tell me they are not willing to give up tacos, so come up with a healthier version and see what you can do with it. There's no reason to give things up. Taco salad, taco wrap. All right, let's put some of the ground beef on there. I don't know if you're gonna see that. Trying not to burn myself. And I'm just gonna roll these up. Like I said, they're a little hot right now. Use my spatula to assist. Almost there. Okay, all right. So just to show you what it kind of is gonna look like I said, it's a little hot right now. So let me give you kind of an idea. Almost looks like a little enchilada right there on the end there. Okay, so I'm just gonna let them set till they cool off just a little bit, and then my son will take off with them. So, you know, what a great way to get your kids to eat a little bit healthier. Try out some new have them help you try out some healthy recipes. Pinterest can be your friend, along with if you find somebody really great that continuously produces new, great, healthy recipes, follow them. That's the best way to go. You just have to use a little bit of common sense to make sure that it really is a healthier option. I've seen some on there, I'm going, that's not sugar-free. I don't know if you can call that sugar-free. So use some common sense there. Make sure that you're putting it into MyFitnessPal or whatever you use to track at least the first time, so you can see that it is what you really think that it is and what you're looking for. So hopefully you have an incredible weekend. It's beautiful outside. We're gonna go check out the chickies at the local farm store today. And I'm so excited about it. Family out. So have an incredible day. This week there will be Q&A Wednesday. Next week, this week is spring break. The following week, I'll tell you there's gonna be some more updates. I'm headed to a wedding, so not gonna have everything that we normally do. But have an incredible weekend, guys. That's Meals with Melissa. Have an incredible Saturday. Bye now.